wishing all the stoners a happy 420 and harshing their Mel by reminding them it's also Hitler's birthday. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. The choice to get on mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grab?
That's right.
And Bald Brian.
None of this is funny.
Bert Kreischer is in studio. Good to see you, Bert.
It's good to see you. That intro to your... I brought back severe memories of being on Travel Channel and listening to your podcast in a van, driving like 6 hours. And that dun 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 is like, oh, new episode. I vividly remember getting into arguments in a van listening to this show with like 9 people.
What kind of argument?
I was gonna say
the one time. This was the most heated one. Was Adam said he finds it irresponsible if you have more than one child to live in an apartment with that child, and. It was, and by the way, at the time I was living in an apartment with 2 children, and I was like, no shit, but everyone was like lighting it up. This is what it looks like when you have money, and then I'm sitting there going like, I would love to sound like that.
Money sounds great.
Throw me in some money, baby.
Well, listen, I had no money from 0 to 32 and a half, and I purposely had no children. Like, I could have not pulled out a time or two, but wouldn't
it be the right thing to do?
It wouldn't have been the right thing to do. Like I was cognizant of it. It's like you have no money, you cannot take care of yourself. Essentially, you can eat, and you can buy a 6-pack for the weekend. You do not have dental, you do not have medical. Your truck doesn't have car insurance. How the fuck are you going to take care of someone else?
It's funny you say that because I had kids when I had kids with no insight. Just going like, yeah, I guess this is happening now.
Right.
I guess we'll figure this out. And then I was a dad on the road, making $700 a week featuring, doing it every single weekend. Was not home my first year of my daughter's life at all. And then all my friends are like rich old dads now. Mm-hmm. And so to watch them do it, like Segura or Burr or Rogan, it's very different than the way I did it. So we don't connect totally.
Right.
Like they'll be like, yeah, well, I just tell the nanny she can't leave. And you're like,
the what now?
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. All I knew from nannies when I was young was a sitcom called Nanny and the Professor. And there was a hot nanny.
Really?
His name is Phoebe Figure Lily. And she lived.
She a Bond girl?
She looked like a Bond girl. Bert he's got a show coming up at the Ryman, but that's sold out. We've talked a lot about the Ryman. It's big, beautiful theater, ex-church, maybe it's still a church,
it's
Nashville.
Pretty beautiful. I'm in Grand Ole Opry tomorrow night.
That's
Damn.
there. That's awesome. Amazing. And you're just on tour. You're coming to Ohio and Colorado and Utah and I'm trying to think what these abbreviations are. Idaho.
The Greek Cinco de Mayo. That's my big white whale.
Let them do it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't.
By all means, keep going.
California, I got Texas.
WA is not Wisconsin.
MS I thought was Mississippi.
Yeah.
I've been promoting. I did this fully loaded. I'm doing a fully loaded comedy festival with Dave Attell, Mark Norman, Big J Okerson, Nikki Glazer, Fortune Feemster, Mark. It's a lot of Sal Volcano, a lot of guys. I'm promoting it. We're doing it at minor league stadiums, and I've been calling it Brandon, Mississippi.
What is it?
Brandon, Missouri.
Well, Missouri.
That's MO.
Wait, what's
Missouri's MO? Mississippi's MS.
I fucking was right there. I was fucking right. Wait, will you pull up? Tell me if that fully loaded comedy festival is Brandon,
I'm
Mississippi.
from Kansas City. I promise you, Missouri's MO.
Motherfucker.
He's probably thinking Branson. There's a Branson, Missouri, Brandon, Mississippi.
Do you have a website? Can you pull it up and see if it's Brandon? I've been saying it, and I'm just dumb enough that if you tell me I'm wrong, I'll believe I'm wrong. That's why I respect what you do, because I can't take your takes. Like, I could never... You could convince me I'm wrong about anything. Anything.
You're actually wrong about that.
No,
I probably am.
I can be convinced I'm wrong because I don't know anything about abbreviations of states. And then also, most of the time the people that are telling you wrong are looking at a computer, so you think they have some insider information that you do not possess.
Brandon, Mississippi.
Yeah, I don't know if that's... I think that's where the fully loaded... We're going to Mississippi. So.
Nice.
Wow, that's
This is the second
I'm taking Dave Attell to Mississippi.
You are going to Kansas City, Missouri, by the way.
When?
You're going on May...
for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have 3 tours going on right now.
God.
Bert, good news. Brandon, Mississippi is the second safest city in Mississippi.
By the way, you'd be shocked when you go to a city. almost every city you go to on tours are like dangerous city. Do not go off the grid on this.
Travel advisory.
I was in Newark,
Yeah.
New Jersey. The joke I made was I went for a jog, which in this city very quickly turns into a run. Where you're like, fuck this, get me out of here. Have you ever felt like a legit panic in a city where you're like, I'm in the wrong, I could actually get hurt over here.
Well, LA's getting more and more that way. I mean, definitely parts, Hollywood, driving through Hollywood, stuff that never really existed in the past. Parts of the valley, deeper into the valley, are getting a little crazy and dicey. There's all this kind of weird brazen crime of, punching people out on the street or stripping their watch off them. So my head is on a goddamn swivel right now.
We had cops. We had these guys when we were building our house. We had guys just breaking into it regularly, and the cops would come, and they're fans, and they'd just be like, "Yeah, man, just move." And you'd be like, "What?" And they're like, "Your boys are in Austin. I'd go to Austin." They were saying literally, especially during coronavirus, if we arrest them, we're actually not going to even arrest them because if they go into the system, they're just getting out that day. So it's a waste of time. Just move.
Yeah, well, everyone who's doing all the crime has a crazy rap sheet, and it's really just what I've distilled it down to. It's a very small minority, pun intended, who is creating the majority of all the crime. And as long as we're going to do the revolving door with that really small group and the rap sheet is 8, 10, 14 arrests, then we get what we get. It could go no other way.
But on the upside, they're going to tattoo Gascon's name on their faces.
That's what we learned yesterday.
In a recorded call from the jail.
Gascon from The Little Mermaid?
Yes, and also our district attorney.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
I should probably talk to my kids. I don't know how old your kids are, Bert.
I don't know either.
But you should go. We should really sit down and talk to them and go, look, here's how this is going to work. My kids are 15. Los Angeles will hit a bottom about 16 and a half or 17. We're getting near the bottom, but we need, for some reason, cities like Los Angeles and New York, they need to fucking hit the slab of the bottom before. They can't see the bottom coming and be 10% away from the bottom or 8 feet from the bottom. We have to hit the bottom. So I'm going to tell my kids, look, here's how it's going to work. About a year and a half, about the time you're graduating high school, we will be bottomed out. Then what will happen is we will demand change. Yes. And so we'll get all these law and order DAs in here and mayors and governors and proclamations, and then they'll clean everything up.
A glorious renaissance will ensue.
And then you'll have a pretty good run from the time you graduate high school till you're in your later 20s.
Yeah.
But about a decade will go by, and then all the people who fucked it up the first time will go, what's with all the stop and frisk and broken windows? And the black teen was walking down the street and a cop asked him where he was going. This is bullshit. We got to switch this shit up. Okay. Then we will begin the bottoming out process again, which will take about another 13 years. You probably want to move before we get into our second strata of an attempt to bottoming out.
Yeah.
Because that's the cycle.
Do you remember that girl? Remember when New York got safe and then it started getting dangerous again?
Yes.
I don't mean to make light of this. This is probably horrible. It made me giggle. But this is just what's wrong with white women. No offense.
Oh, no, none taken.
These guys pulled a gun on her and her friends, and she goes, "What are you guys gonna do? Shoot us?"
Oh, no.
And he shot them.
Yeah.
And 3 of them died.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot us?" And the guy was like, "That's why I brought the gun. That's so funny you're gonna say that. That's crazy. You saw the gun and then he shot them."
I feel like when someone, it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why put the word shoot even out into the heavens when a person has a gun? He could go. My buddy Ray, who used to bully me all the time, one time we were walking and he just beat the crap out of me all the time. And I said to him one time, I went, "Hey, I got this cool new OP shirt I got from Valsurf.
What's wrong with you?
This shirt, Ray, please do not destroy this shirt. You rip every single shirt I have, you tear it off my back, you wipe your ass with it." And he went, Oh, thanks. You just reminded me. I wasn't thinking about it, but
Yeah.
just shoot me.
I'm a coward, so like I don't fist fight. I don't like. I talk really good shit, and I found that I could talk my way into a fight that I don't want to be in. I got in this fight with this guy. This is the last confrontation I got into was with the guy on the corner of Melrose and Detroit. Very
my
specific.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a Starbucks there. My sisters used to live above it, and I was pulling in to get my bathing suit because I was shooting something for Comedy Central. So I kind of pulled in the wrong way on the wrong road, and kind of double parked. It was early, and my sister came to her balcony, threw over my bathing suit, and in the process, this guy in a teal BMW just zoom, 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 like trying to like get around my car and can't find a spot because I'm double parked, and he's angry. He looks like Louis C.K. He looks like him. Now, when I told the story to my wife, I said Louis Anderson. It turned into a very different story. But he looked like Louis C.K., so I thought it was Louis C.K. The whole time, I'm like, I wouldn't picture Louis in a teal BMW, but... So I get in the car, and he gets out of the car, and once again, I think it's Louis C.K., and he's yelling over to me, and I go, it's Louis. I roll down to my window, and as I roll down my window, I realize it's not Louis. And he's like, learn how to park, motherfucker. And there's a thing I can see the beta in a dude pretty quick, because I'm a beta. So like, I recognize it. And I put my car in park, and I get out of my car, and I stand up, and everyone's outside the Starbucks.
You got Baydar.
Yeah, I
think they call it.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'm like, come out here and be the man you're saying you're going to be. Prove you're a man. Prove you're a man. And he just freezes. I go, no, you talk all that shit. Come and be the man you're going to be. And he didn't move, and I said, that's what I thought. Go get a fucking latte. And he walked in, and I thought, what if he knew how to fight? He would have beaten the fuck out of me. Like, he would have cleaned me up on the seat, like, and my sister was on the balcony. She was gonna see me get my ass whipped. And I was like, I don't know how to fight. I don't at all. I don't know how to fight. One part of a fight I can't do.
I was, you brought up Louis C.K., and I brought up my friend Ray, who liked to bully me.
Yeah.
Many years later, we're at Jordan Rubin's midnight skate-a-thon.
Shout out to Jordan Rubin. I did cocaine in his house in New York with a bunch of models, and I was like, hey, you mind if we go into your bedroom to get high? And he was like, of course. And we went in, and we took his mirror off his wall, and we laid it on the bed, and he followed us in. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, we're doing coke. And he was like, I thought you were going to smoke weed. And I was so taken back. I was like, I would never ask to smoke weed in your bedroom. How rude is that? Like, I would only do coke.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, did I just ruin my whole job in stand-up? As I'm doing coke in front of a legit headliner? And then we did coke.
Jordan, sidebar, Chris can look it up. Jordan's dad
Invented?
zigzag rolling papers.
Yes!
Yes.
Sidebar.
Yes.
Sidebar, Jordan Rubin told me that fucking... Well, maybe I shouldn't say this. Never mind. He said that fucking 4 people in Manhattan is like fucking 20 people in Florida.
Let me see.
bad.
Yeah, it pencils out.
Yeah.
So Lou, my buddy Ray was at Jordan. We were all at Jordan's midnight roller rink, invite the comedians and hang out and skate in a circle. And everyone was all sweaty because what happens with roller skating is you think you're going to go out there and just do a few cool down laps, but the music starts pumping, you start drinking, and the next thing you know, you sweat through your fucking jersey, right? And so Louis taking his shirt off in the locker changing area, and my buddy Ray, who thinks he's Jeff Ross, he thinks Louis is Jeff Ross, comes up behind him, grabs his man tits from behind and starts shaking them vigorously. Yeah. And the look on Louis' face when I think Louis thought it was some friend or somebody goofing on him that he knew, and it was just my buddy Ray standing there. He's just staring at him. He didn't even know, he didn't really know what to say when you do things to strangers like that,
right,
or pee on them in a public forum or arena.
Shocking.
You think they're going to say, fuck off. They just look at you like, what happened? It's like when people say, I got shot, I couldn't feel it. I just felt warm.
I just saw the blood.
You go into shock.
Right.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. came, I was in Minneapolis, and I went for a jog, and I saw that as I started my jog, the theater next door has Louis C.K. at it. Mm-hmm. And it's same night. So I text him. I'm like, hey, man, I'm doing a show next door. Why don't you come by after your show and we'll hang out? And he's like, I'm only doing 1 tonight. I'm doing 2 tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I'm out tomorrow. I'm doing 2 though. Come on my second show, and so he comes over, just sits back, we have a cocktail, have a whiskey, and I say, hey man, I'm about to go on stage. Do you want to do a set? And he says, are you sure? And I think to myself, Lou's been nice to me his whole fucking life. Why? That is even a conversation is beyond me. I look up to him. I think he's one of the best.
What year is this? Sorry.
This is 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. And so I go, it bothers me, but I go, I'm 100% sure, Louis. I'm 100% sure. So they bring him out, and it's the biggest pop I've ever heard. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest, Louis C.K. And he goes, I appreciate this. And he goes out, and I realize he said, are you sure? Not because he had been canceled, but because he's the best stand-up comic out there. I could not follow this motherfucker. He did 8 minutes of pedophile jokes that were so fucking funny that all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm so fucking full of myself. I thought he was thinking it was about the whole jerk-off thing. This is because he's Louis C.K. and I'm not as good of a comedian as he is, and I have to go after him, and I rip my shirt off, and the whole crowd's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, I'd rather see Louis again.
I know you got the whole gift thing with Tom Segura.
Dude.
And I have thoughts on that.
So for those listening, I'll explain how this started. I think when God made Adam and Eve, that was great, except he didn't think about gift giving in that process. I think he thought penis and vagina goes great, except when it comes to gifts. So my wife has never got me a good gift her entire fucking life. Ever. She bought me an iPad one time, and I remember thinking if I wanted one, I would have just gotten one.
Right.
Like, why the fuck did you give this to me? She got me a generator one year. She got me a wallet. Who the fuck buys someone a wallet? That's the thing I picked for myself. So then...
Generator sounds okay.
Generator.
I like that.
Generator actually came in pretty good during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And
But I think she was buying herself a generator.
Yeah.
She was buying the house a generator.
She was buying her father a generator because her father stays with us for a period of. So 1 year, 2 years ago, I get Georgia and Isla come out in the back, and they're like, "Do not go outside. Tommy got you a present. Do not come outside. He wants to be on the phone with you." So Tom calls me. He's like, "Hey man, you in your man cave?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is it there?" And George is like, "It's there." And he's like, "All right, go outside." And he spent $4,000 on a electric bike that goes 40 miles an hour. And I thought, I didn't even know I wanted that. Like, he knew me so much better than I knew myself, way better than my wife knew me. And that night I got drunk, and I took it out, and I fucking had a blast all around Valley Village. Just took it, I went into the parks, and I'm hammered. I'm fucking flying at 40 miles on a bike in parks, dark as shit. I'm hammered. I got a joint hanging out of my mouth, cigar in one hand. I had the best. I came home sweating on an electric bike. I went in and I said to him, we assumed gay men must give the best gifts because they know each other. They have to, and they're men, so they're one-upping each other. And our gay fans wrote in from Two Bears, and they're like, "You nailed it." It's actually a little stressful because we do have to one-up each other every year. I said, Tom, for the rest of our lives, we will spend more money on each other on our birthdays than the guy did the year before.
Oh my God.
So get ready. So
Big time.
He spent $4,000 on me. I wanted to step it up. I spent $15,000 on him, and I bought him a wave runner. They were really hard to get during the pandemic. He had just moved to Austin. He had just moved into his house. He's dealing with all the other stuff. I thought, have a wave runner sitting out there for him. It goes 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Tom loves speed. That goes into this story. He says, I'm gonna blow you up next year. We're taking it to the next level. We did a movie called The Machine. I'm doing screenings, and I'm touring, and I'm doing my podcast, Two Bears, One Cave. I'm stressed out to the gills. Tom calls me one weekend. My wife would never let me fly private. I have flown private, but my wife shits on it. She's a nightmare about me flying private.
Is it environmental things? Is it a money thing?
It's a waste of money. It is a waste of money. But so Tom says, "Hey man, I know you have a screening in Sugarland, a screening in LA. You have voiceover in LA, and we're doing Two Bears, One Cave, and you're on tour. I have a G5 coming to pick you up. It's got a flight attendant. Nice. It's got meals. I've got you at the Four Seasons in every place you're going.
Oh my God.
And it's taking you back out on the road. I want you to relax and take a breath." I said,
"What a guy."
Why aren't you guys married?
I said, hold on. I go, "What's the fucking price point on this?" Because it's a birthday present. And I know I got to double it. I got to go above it. He goes, $75,000. So I was like, motherfucker. So Tom loves racing, much like you. He loves racing. I don't mean this, but like he goes out and has a coach at a track that coaches him and teaches him how to drive better in race cars. He loves it. He's obsessed with F1, with everything racing. Tom loves. He loves cars. He's a lot like you in this. He loves cars.
He's in Austin?
He's in Austin.
So he goes out to maybe Circuit of the Americas or whatever. They have an F1 track just outside Austin.
I don't know. He's got a coach. That's how Tom works. He got a coach to teach him how to race better.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm going to buy him a race car for his birthday.
A race car bed, like for a child?
No.
boy.
A legit race car. I'm going to buy him. I'm going to spend $100,000. I'm going to buy him the car. I'm going to buy him the suit. I'm going to get him the helmet. I'm going to get him 4 extra tires. I'm going to get him the trailer to take the car in. We're going to wrap the car. And I said, we're going to start Two Bears Racing. I know this from being on Travel Channel, but the racing community is big on the minor league level. There are dudes that's their weekend. They go out. Well, Matt Farah from the Smoking Tire hears this and says, it's actually not a bad idea. What you need to get into is these endurance races that they run in these M3s. BMW M3s. And he reaches out to me and he says, I know the guy. He's got a brand new build. He's out of Sacramento. And he can do the build for you. And it'll be a brand new car. He goes, listen, it's a race car, so it's not going to look like pretty on the outside, but it's everything's brand new. So I was like, what's the fucking price point? And he's like, $56 for the car, and then the trailer, everything adds up to $100,000. So I don't tell Tom. I buy him a race car. Wow. I bring it down. I get it shipped down to Austin. I bring him outside. I have never seen him happier about anything in his entire life. He called his racing coach, and he's like FaceTiming him. He's like, he didn't call his wife, didn't call his kids. He called his racing coach. Then that night he calls me and he goes, you got pictures of the car? I want to show it to my boys. Like, this is all he's talked about. So we take this out on the track, and he's learning in this, and we're going to start doing endurance racing. And I'm on the other side of the business because I'm the pit guy. I'm the guy with the cigar in the pit going, God damn it, you're running it too hot. Well, I'm going to start selling advertising to our ad sales sponsors on the outside of the car, get stickers on the car. We'll try to break even with this race team, go out. Hopefully we'll do well. We can have a driver in that car, step it up, go to the next level, keep going. Because I'm telling you, man, F1 on Netflix is the fucking greatest show I've ever seen.
Is there room for a third bear? I'm looking out at Carolla. Who has some racing experience?
It would not only just be an honor, it would be, we will fly you down and we'll get you the suit. We'll get you everything.
I have 14 racing suits.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, of course you have a suit.
None of which fit.
I'm literally... So, by the way, Gary said it was an E46. That's an E36 M3.
How dare you?
We were all thinking.
By the way,
what's crazy is when I posted a picture the day it arrived of it just in the wrap, like the cover over it, and I have never seen my comment section blow up harder. They're like, is that an E40? E46? There's no way Bert knows to get an E46. I'm telling you right now, that's a 92. That's not a 92.
Discussion.
It was like insane. I was like, shut the fuck up. Because passion begets passion. If you're into something, dude, you find that shit you're into, and Tommy loves this.
Next year he's gonna have to buy you staff, like full-time
He's gonna get you a new house.
Yeah.
Well, the people, can you pull up the picture of the people who did the car?
Just so you know, it's an E36 BMW.
E36 BMW.
Yes.
The people who
Are
did.
you really a car guy?
Listen, first off, you picked the right day to show up at the studio. I'm waiting for my helmet to show up from Sparco Industries today. I'm a little panicked about it because when we're done, I'm going to Laguna Seca to drive in a professional Trans Am race, and I need a new helmet that has a radio in it and has a jack so I can put the air hose in it.
You in the QB dot, the green dot on the back of your helmet? That's the one that has the microphone.
Everyone but me right now has it, and I have angst because it was supposed to show up at 10:30 this morning, hasn't showed up yet. I was literally at my shop trying to figure out which fire suit I was going to
Are you serious?
Take out here. It's awesome, and that I've been watching videos because I'm trying to learn the line and everything. The fucking Trans Am 1, it's 900 plus horsepower. It's a like 2,700 pound car. It is full balls to the wall insanity, and it's all this weekend going on at Laguna Seca.
The people who made Tom's car is called Legacy out of Sacramento. Now they just built a car and sold it to me. They had no fucking idea who I was or who Tom was. And then we posted this on Instagram, and they reached out and they're like, "Who the fuck are you guys?" Like, this is
You're somebody.
because you know, I mean, we're two of the bigger touring comics in the world.
I thought they're a national company.
And they're sitting there going like, "Hey man, we can also help out more. Do you need people in the pits to help you with the cars?" And like, we built it, we can help you. The people that get, I mean, like, so many people. It's what's so cool is that the community of racing is very like fraternal. I mean that. I don't mean that. You know, whatever I mean it is. And but
We get it.
yeah, they everyone has reached out. Like the people building our suits reached out and they're like, the guy doing our wrap, the guy's doing our helmet because I have a big head. Like everything, like I got Rec Tech is building me a smoker to take to these endurance
Oh
races.
my
And I like,
God.
fuck it, if I'm gonna be there for 6 hours, I'm making a brisket.
This is like lifestyle brand.
I'm here to party. I'm here for the tailgate, and the race is also happening. I'm telling you, I would love for you to be in one of our races.
I'd love to do it. I'll do every damn race.
You heard it here, everybody.
Every race I get invited to, I will show up and drive. I think you have a sequential gear shift in that car, which is kind of cool.
It's either sequential or non-sequential. It's one of the two.
Yeah,
it's
I
gotta
told
be
him,
one
I
or the
said,
other.
I either want sequential, non-sequential, 330, whatever you
I think
got.
the company's out of either Mississippi or Missouri that makes that.
Yeah.
It looks sequential, meaning you just grab the next one down like
a video game as
like
opposed
a video
to
game. Like that's how
standard H.
motorcycle
Yeah.
shifts work.
We've
Yes.
got the full comms in there, so we can record inside there and stream live. So we're thinking. The thing is, I think there's an opportunity here to put racing. I think when I started watching F1, I was like, how did I never watch this before? Like, how am I not a fan of Lewis Hamilton's? How am I not? Like, I like Tiger Woods and I like watching Michael Jordan. Why am I not watching F1? And then I started
Drive
thinking,
to Survive on Netflix. It's just the best series out there.
it's amazing.
I was watching it last night. It is
I
so
was
much
watching it last
drama,
night,
so
too.
much speed, so much everything. It's just good. And a pox on all who do I'm not a car guy, fuck off. We watch all your fucking docs
Yes.
about your lesbian cello players who are losing their hearing.
That's a good
fuck
doc.
you. You got to watch some of our fucking docs once in a while. They're such doc snobs. You know what I
My
mean?
daughters are into it. My daughters, we start watching it, and they're like, and I start saying like, Lewis Hamilton's the best. Like that guy is a gangster, but I'm like watching Daniel Ricciardo going like, I'll tell you who I love is the guy that just got cut from
Red Bull?
Sins.
Yeah.
He's a
You
good-looking
and Adam on
kid
your own.
from Spain.
Yeah. But they're all heartthrobs.
They're all heartthrobs.
Hold on, I'll look
Yeah.
them up
Gina's
then.
in
They are all heartthrobs.
Yeah, I have an idea for you guys because I think you should parlay this passion into a TV show, all comedians, and I think it should be called Funny Cars.
That's
How's that?
good.
Bad,
It's a genre,
not
a
bad.
race
How
genre.
about comedians and cars getting pussy?
You know what? I like that one.
You bested me.
By
Congratulations.
the way, the crowd, I was
Don't be
literally
a one-upper, like I said before.
I was literally just saying this to somebody yesterday, which is like, when you show up at the track, when you show up, Chris, you can pull. I sent you a video. I don't know if you ever got it. It was the video of doing a Trans Am race at Willow. That one, Chris, you can find just so you can see
No, I
what you're
didn't see
getting
it.
into. But because I saw you on Jay Leno's Garage.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, oh, he's getting into it. He's getting into cars. And so the best part about the car community is you show up, none of these dudes will be wearing a fucking mask. They're not going to give a fuck whether you've been, got the vaccine or not. There's no intolerances. There's no gluten issues. There's no anything.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of fucking balls to the wall, sort of brass tacks dudes and they're successful dudes who want to go racing. And it's the greatest network ever. They're all the fucking best. And they'll go out and race the shit out of these cars, and then you'll have a beer afterward and have a good time.
That's good living.
Yeah, it's a good time.
We did the Blowers series, and that's like it's I've done a lot of stuff for Travel Channel. I've done the motorcycle race where you have the steel foot and you kind of
Flat track.
I've done the blowers. I've done the where you just hold a button down and it goes dun dun dun, and then you just let go of the button and then your car goes.
Like a quarter-mile thing?
Yeah, I've done those. And the coolest thing is like when you show up, just how inviting everyone is.
Yes.
I remember they were getting me into this car. It was called Plum Stupid or Plum Silly. There was a car. Is the name of the car.
Well,
And
that was the name of the paint on the car.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
probably Cuda or something, a Plymouth. You know, they'd have plum crazy purple, and they have all crazy.
Oh no, that was
names.
what was painted on the side of the car, like Plum Silly, or that was the name of the car, right? And so I remember I was putting on my 5-point harness, and the guy and the guys racing against came over and was like, "Hey man, let's get that tight." And I was like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, you don't want it not tight, because
Yeah.
if you don't have it tight and you flip this thing, your spleen can just come out of your mouth." And I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go tight. It could be tighter. It could be a little tighter."
They're up to 6 points now with the harness. They
Wait.
They
1,
split
2,
your
3.
balls. I mean it.
Don't.
Everyone goes,
Right
why?
down the middle, James Bond
Why?
style.
But why? Think about it. Go around.
Oh yeah, 6.
Go,
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
go around the junk, the submarine belt that comes
okay.
between your legs.
Okay. I get it. That makes
That's
sense.
it. Is my fucking helmet here yet? I'm getting anxiety now.
I've not seen anything.
All right, Chris, you got that vid?
I'm sorry. Which video were you talking about? You say you sent it to Bert or to me?
I did send it to Bert.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like-
but I don't think he
Is
he
it
got
the
it.
one where you're just passing the car at Willow Springs like that?
Just the
quick, like 40
just
seconds?
the 3-minute one, but we won't get all the way through
Okay,
it.
we'll
but
play
you
the
can
3-minute
just-
one.
You can just see how it goes.
You do talk over. You narrate over it though.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. That's fine. Let me tell you about electric bikes. Finally, an e-bike. This is what we're talking about for everyone. Electric bikes starts at just $799, so Segura's out. Fastest growing e-bike company in the U.S. These bikes are great, and as a matter of fact, since we're leaving for the track, and I bring my son with me, and one of his great joys, besides busting my chops, is riding the electric bike around
Right.
the infield of the track, and electric bike folds so I can throw it in the back of the truckster, and it's literally charging, folded, ready to be loaded up. We're going to do that as soon as the show is over and have some fun. So you get where you need to go, any terrain, including snow and sand. Cover 45 miles at up to 28 miles an hour, 4 to 6 hours on a charge. The battery is hidden away, and there's an LCD display showing your speed, range, and adjustable power level as well. Am I right, Dawson?
Join the affordable e-bike revolution. Go to electricebikes.com and use code Adam to get a free foldable mountain bike lock with any bike purchase. That's a free bike lock when you use code Adam at electricebikes.com.
All right, here's what those Trans Am races look like. All right, you get it.
So wait, what makes like we did? I know there's nothing, but we did those little go karts that go like 50 miles an hour, like
Shifter carts,
the
so
little-
you call them, I think. Anyway.
But like we went, you go hard, and then all of a sudden this little girl gets out there and beats your time by like 15 seconds.
Oh, Adam can explain that.
I'm going to guess. Now, take this, this is a mechanical scientific thing, but you may be over 190 pounds,
Oh, is that what it is?
and she may be
Oh, is that what it
under
is?
90 pounds.
90
Oh,
pounds.
those fucking assholes.
Yeah, I know. They fucking. It's look. When in racing, when we the three Papa Bears go
Yeah.
out and dominate the world,
Yeah.
they will add weight to your car. They'll go, hey man, you got a little horsepower bump, or you're running a turbo or something. All these race groups, they're trying to keep things even. So, you think about like, how do you keep it even? You go, well, we got this Audi Quattro over here. That's all-wheel drive. And you go, well, everyone else is just rear-wheel drive. Is that an advantage? And they go, you're running turbos on your turbo Porsche, and you're running a naturally aspirated engine on your Corvette. Like if one car starts dominating, they'll start adding weight to it, going, well, you got an advantage here. So they literally add weight. So when the chick whips your ass on the go-kart,
I mean, destroyed me.
right, because She was 107 pounds.
She was a child.
And you added 100+ pounds to your go-kart, which is you.
She was telling me her lines were better than mine. And I was
that
like,
may have been true.
I love
Tell
that
that
she's
to
talking
Jordan
shit.
Rubin in his bedroom.
I was like, wait. And then I was like, at one point, I'm like, I'm behind you. I'm following you. And you're still beating me.
Yes.
God damn it.
It is. Yes, you were following her line. The go-kart, it's all horsepower to weight ratio.
Yeah.
So the go-kart has, 40 horsepower or something. Like, it doesn't have real horsepower, but it's so light that it can zip around, the track. But then you've added 150 pounds to your go-kart and screwed the ratio up.
So then what makes Lewis Hamilton so much better? Like, what makes a good race car driver? Like, what is the thing? Is it just doing it? Is it 10,000 hours of doing it and you got to start young? Or is it...
Gina,
is
you
there
want to take this?
I actually do, because we've talked about this on the show multiple times. I would say one of them not only is the weight, but we've talked about several times that when the guys are at the height of their powers, they're less than 25 years old or right around 25, where they're still taking chances. They're not thinking, oh shit, I got a family at home. I don't want to flip this thing. And they're way higher risk takers than
But
older
he's
guys.
older now. He's probably early 30s.
Yeah, but still.
He's really...
I got you, girl.
I mean,
you.
a lot of it's the team.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
with F1, it's money mostly, right?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of money it costs. It always... I was thinking about you last night, Brian.
Here we go.
And I'll tell you, and I'll tease it, but I'll bring it around.
wow.
Lewis
I like where this is going.
is 37, so he may be getting ready to retire. He's got I think 7 championships. Schumacher's got 7. He's in a coma now, like in the Swiss Alps. So not from racing, from skiing. Turns out.
Wait, he is?
Oh, you didn't know Ralph Schumacher?
Is it Ralph? I thought it was Michael.
Oh, Michael Schumacher. Ralph Schumacher.
I just watched a documentary on him, and
Michael Schumacher.
I spent the whole documentary saying, "What's wrong with his son?" Because they opened the documentary with him holding onto his son, scuba diving at like 30 feet with his son out without gear, and I was like, "Okay, this is a story about autism or something." I don't know.
Michael Schumacher, the winningest F1 driver ever since Lewis came around and tied his 7 world championships. So I don't know, Niki Lauda's won 2, is considered a legend. You get, I don't know who's won 5. These guys have won 7. He bonked his head on a tree skiing in like 2013 or something, and is literally just been in a vegetative state at his like palatial estate.
Shit.
Yeah, well, he's got enough money to like have all this accoutrements, but he's literally... They don't know what his condition is fully. Like,
Are they
because
super secretive?
the family's super quiet about it. And it could have been 8 years ago now or something, but could have been 6 years ago. But he is like hasn't been responsive for years. So
Jesus.
At what point do you let a loved one
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Got it.
Yeah.
Never. We had to sign that DNR, and my wife's like, "Let me go," and I was like, "Well, don't let me go."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
And
signed
put in
it.
a blowjob every day. That's how I want to be Snow Whited out of a coma.
Well, I got a
He
good.
is semi-responsive.
I got a good.
He's semi-responsive. His dick's hard. I think he's responsive.
Find me, Chris, before we take a break, a picture of the woman who runs Williams Racing now, who is the daughter of the guy who started it, an independent team.
Yeah, that guy's inspirational.
That guy was like a racer, had a team or whatever, gets into a car wreck on the road, not on the track, is paralyzed from the waist down, then has the most successful Formula One team like ever from the wheelchair. Like sometimes when you see some bad racing movie and Burt Reynolds is in a wheelchair, the guy who they're sort of ripping him off. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Burt right after this.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Bert Kreischer's birthday cocktail party for November 3rd. Let's see who's invited. Let's welcome the founder of the state of Texas, Stephen F. Austin. Here comes Italian opera composer Vincenzo Bellini. American actor from The Dirty Dozen, Death Wish, and Magnificent Seven, Charles Bronson. American boxer and world heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes. The editor of Vogue magazine is here, Anna Wintour. Roseanne Barr just joined the party. Kate Capshaw is here. So is Dennis Miller. Dolph Lundgren just showed up, and he will break you. Phil Simms is here. And yes, born in 1954, appropriately, Godzilla. Bert Kreischer is on the Adam Carolla show.
I did not get what that was.
Everyone who has the same birthday.
Yeah, I realized when you said Roseanne Barr, I was like, why the fuck are these people? Like, is there a bit to this?
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, and I wish I had now. I got to re-listen to that because I'm like, Larry Holmes?
The website, by the way, you can go to find out all the tour dates and everything is bertbertbert.com. Also, obviously, the podcast, Two Bears, One Cave. You find that wherever you find finer podcasts. And so, Brian, every time I see Claire Williams, now this picture we're seeing of her looks a little different than she looks in the series. But
are you going for Christy
looks just like Christy. When you see her walking around and just sort of filmed in this series, I think about it every time.
That's interesting because Gina, you can probably you can probably recognize this. And Christy, my wife, never gets told, "Oh, you look just like she doesn't have that celebrity look-alike face, I guess, or whatever." Yeah. This is the first pretty close one.
You can find some other ones in there where she might be a little more Christy-esque, but either way. That's what I think. And by the way, her crowd probably doesn't know Claire Williams from the F1
Oh, that's
series.
a bad area for to go in, man. She worked for Lexus. She worked for Jaguar. She knows all the car stuff.
Yeah, but this is F1. All right.
But all I can think about is the billionaire dad who just got his son a job there.
I do love it.
I love it. And by the way, I do it for both my daughters. When the decline in LA starts going down and my daughters don't want to open a Thunderdome over a Colfax,
right?
I'll be like, yeah, I'm in.
It's funny you brought up Roseanne Barr because I was going to bring her up later, but I figure we'll do it with Bert here as well, which is there was so Roseanne was canceled from her own show for sending out some tweet about Valerie Jarrett, who was like Obama's chief of staff or some version of that. And I don't know, she made some sort of joke like she looks like she's in the Planet of the Apes or something. And then she got destroyed and then she got pulled from her own show and she got canceled. And then later on, either she's doing a podcast or a tweet or something where she went, I thought the bitch was white.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought the bitch was white too. Like it's a sustainable argument. Like if you're in a court of law and someone accused you of making a racist joke and you're like, I thought the chick was white. So then Valerie Jarrett put out a tweet yesterday. Oh. And of course, she's going to mask forever because she's a crazy bitch. And I looked at it and I went, yes, it does look like she looks like a white woman. Or you wouldn't know she's a black woman. I'll put it to you that way.
She looks like a black woman there.
You think so?
Yes.
That's Brian's job.
Yes.
That's Brian's job.
Love the tag team.
You think that looks like a black woman?
I do. I mean, definitely I would, maybe I couldn't say black woman, but like a ethnic woman.
She could be something, but we are living in a world where everyone is something or getting close to it.
And I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Joe Coy can sell out 3 Tacoma domes.
Oh, Fluffy selling out.
Fluffy, two. Fluffy sold out 2 Dodger Stadium shows. He called me and he was like, I shouldn't say this, but he was very sweet. I was impressed by it. I was very impressed. And I told him I would like to come see the show. If that's cool, Can you get me? And then he texted me. He was like, hey, man, if you're going to come see the show, would you like to do some time? And I was like, oh, my God, I'd love to. And then I was like, yeah, man, I'm still trying to move tickets for the Greek on the 5th. Like, you sold 2 Dodger Stadium shows. Like, the amount of tickets he's moved is, I mean, that's, and by the way, the fact that not enough people are talking about that is insane to me. He's doing a double header. He's just a comic.
It's insane. By the way, when he asked you if you wanted to do time, you should have given the Louis C.K. answer.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Fluffy? I mean,
think about this.
and then he's like, "Why were you canceled?" And I go, "Well, I am the machine, La Machina." No, Fluffy is. All those guys, man, are so impressive and they're so inspirational. Joe Coy, Joe and I will text all the time about Joe's raises the bar he is doing it on such a large level, and there's a handful of dudes like that where you just look at them and you're like, holy shit, man! Like, and Fluffy and Joe are two of them. Segura is massive. I mean, massive, and I think he plays it on the DL. He just did 2 of the places where the Bulls played, the United Center. He did 2 shows in Chicago.
Is it? How much of it is like Netflix specials?
Netflix.
That's what it is.
It's Netflix. Yeah, when I did Secret Time. I was doing clubs before I did Secret Time, and that was with the Machine story going viral. And then after Secret Time, I did theaters, like the 1500 version theaters, and then and did 2 shows every night, sometimes 4 shows throughout, like add a Monday, 2 shows. And that was my first tour. And then when Hey Big Boy came out, it jumped into the 3,500 seat theaters, and then Red Rocks and the Greek and the arenas now. But Netflix has just got a very, very wide reach. There are people that come out to my shows that do not know Tom, and there are people that come to his shows that do not know me. They just saw us on Netflix. They bring kids to our shows. And then there's like the fans, so, the ones that are the ride or dies, the Two Bears ones that there's a ton of those. But Netflix is a huge. I mean, for Joe, and not to, I got to give respect where it's due. Joe Coy, I don't know if I should say this, but I'll say it, and then I apologize, Joe, if I'm saying things out of school. He went to Netflix a long time ago to do a special, and they said no. And he said, but in his head, I'm good enough. I'll make my own special.
Yeah.
And then he turned around and sold it to them. And it was one of the highest performing specials of the entire year, like probably top 3. And then his last one he just did, #1 special in Netflix the whole year. Yeah. #1 fucking special in Netflix.
I'm sure Joe would be pissed if he heard you talking this way about it.
But I don't know if everyone knows that he paid for his first special.
Yeah, he's come on the show while he was doing it, and I was like, you don't know what this just cost me. Like just to paint the floors and shit
look,
like that.
if there's any kids,
give me a divorce, man. That divorce dad money is fucking legit. She got his first one. What she get? Like 150 grand, whatever he was making at the time. The money he's rolling with now. Him and his son are living large. I don't know why his son would ever get married. I just stay with his dad the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little reach around, something to take the edge off. Listen, I just want young people, if they're listening, I know it sounded like an inspirational story of Joe believing in himself and spending tons of dough.
Oh, there's a lot of guys who failed with
Most people fuck up. Oh, my helmet. My helmet is here.
Your helmet's here.
Out
Should
of
we
the
reveal
box.
it?
Oh, bring it in. Do an unboxing.
Unboxing.
Is there gonna be a moment where we have Two Bears Carolla Racing, like the way they double up names?
Newman Sharp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bert's playing it very cool, but Bert, you are so popular and so successful these days that I subscribe to a few topics on Twitter, fantasy football stuff, blah, blah. I get Bert Kreischer as a topic you can follow on Twitter.
Wow.
I would not follow that.
I'm not saying one should. I'm just saying.
I would definitely not follow that.
All right, here we go. I feel like we're doing a Target haul with the makeup.
Unboxing. So
hold on. Jesus Christ.
Slow it down,
Bert,
man.
Instagram, God damn it. It's content, baby.
It's a big moment. Now, it's not painted up custom or anything like that. It's just a plain white Sparko helmet.
Oh.
If I think one of the
that's just the bag.
Like a Hermes purse.
Oh. Looked like a stormtrooper. It's white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty.
Wow. It looks like a snort.
It's got the hole in the back where Bert will put his dick after I get suited up. Just go ahead and skull fuck me from behind. Freak out all the other racers. Like you'd just be skull fucking me from behind, and I'll just look at everyone and I'll go, I'm not even gay. That's what a fucking maniac I am.
But you're nodding.
Yeah. Wait till I get on that track, bitches.
Oh, that's great content, guys.
Great content.
Grab a hold of it. Put your hands
What is that snork feature on the top?
That's
for the hose.
That's for the air.
But what
Oxygen.
you really do have oxygen pumped in?
It's air
Yeah,
because
the
the helmet
car's
gets hot.
got oxygen built in.
Oxygen?
Wow.
Oh no, sorry. It's got air.
He's all high.
Yeah, it's got air pushed into it, fed into it.
I have a blunt in the car. Put on the helmet. I will hotbox you in your helmet.
I will watch it. I'll
That's
do
a great
that.
idea.
We'll film it.
It's 420.
I got my earbuds. or ear muffs. I got the jack.
Put it on.
This is where the radio. Sorry. All right. I'm taking my headphones off.
Do you have to take your glasses off?
Can we plug his comms into that and have him do the rest of the show with a motorcycle helmet? With a helmet? By the way, one of the best podcasts I've ever done, it was a radio show. We all had motorcycle helmets on, and we were talking to each other through the things in a bar, and it was so much fun.
All right.
Wow.
Crystal clear.
It fits. We'll get the hair. We'll get the mic. There's a mic in this helmet, too, because I got to talk back to whoever's...
We probably could rig it to where you could do the show from that microphone.
Whoever's talking.
You're really squished in there.
Yeah, we don't want to jig.
Well, they don't want a lot of wiggle
No,
room
they
in these.
don't. Oh my God! It's like you have facelift when you take it off.
Yeah, it's a little...
And so when because they told me to measure my head for a helmet, you don't want them loosey-goosey.
No.
Is this like a football helmet where you can put a little air in or air out? Just
No.
Like a pump-up tongue?
No, it's just...
Wow.
It's just one size.
Oh, easy.
That's all right.
It's not the helmet, though.
It's one size, but it doesn't fit all. Like that's a medium large or something. It's got a thing
a
in the back.
beast.
Oh, and it's got a bung in the front for the water hose.
So you can scoop water in your mouth?
Yeah, they'll have a clear hose in the car, and you'll feed it in, and then they'll have a switch that you can hit at some point that'll pump it.
You're like an astronaut.
Yeah, it's cool.
I would love one of those while I sleep, like in my bunk in my tour bus, where I can just, and then it blows in oxygen.
I think
Yeah.
Joe
I
Crow
would like
had
to
one.
sleep in a helmet. That way, if I throw up into my mouth's already closed.
We took your tour bus to San Diego, or what is now your tour bus, or what the tour bus you're going. It's the same rig, luxury. Took it out to San Diego to do some shows. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago,
Really?
whatever it was.
It was the Wednesday before my wedding, so it was in September.
When do you? Oh, it's been a little while. When do you? So how's it work? You're flying out tonight, right?
Yeah.
And you'll fly and you'll take the tour bus, right? And the bus will meet you, or is it? I mean, it's all sort of a geographic thing.
So we'll fly tonight, and then the bus meets us in Nashville, and then it'll pick us up at the airstrip, and then take us over, or at Delta, wherever we land, and then it'll take us. But it'll pick us up there, and then it'll take us right to the venue. So we'll park it at the Grand Ole Opry tonight, and then I'm at the Ryman tomorrow night for 2 shows, or the next night for 2 shows. So it'll move to the Ryman. But we all live on the bus. It started in COVID as I got all bunks because I was like, I don't want to put myself above anyone because I'm asking everyone to stay in a bubble. So we're all going to be at the same place. And I really liked it. And I love sleeping in a bunk. I love getting in a bunk. I love napping in a bunk.
I slept in that bunk.
Brian slept in it.
Front, bottom?
Middle. It was hard for me to get in, so it was like hip level.
Oh, yeah. I have them condo bunked out.
Who's we all? Who goes with you?
Who is that?
That's
That's
all of
them
us
taking it.
in
Oh
your
my
bus.
God, that's you guys in. Oh my God, I saw my bus and I went, who the fuck are these? So that's my. Oh my God, it's so much cleaner with you guys in it.
Do you? So you're doing tonight at the Grand Ole Opry?
Tomorrow night at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, okay. So you fly out a day before.
Fly out a day before, and then I'm going to do some podcasts. Party tonight. I'll get into Nashville at like 11. Go out and party tonight. Do some podcasts. I think Barstool's out there, and then do a show tomorrow night at Grand Ole Opry, and then there's a hat company that got lit up during COVID, but they make really great hats, but they're very like they got kicked off Facebook, they got kicked off Instagram. They're like they're called Hawk Nashville.
Something sounds familiar about this story. I remember hearing about this story a while back.
The lady's a wild card. It's like
I remember this story.
It's like Confederate flag or something.
Yeah, and she's like against masks and against like shutting down businesses and she, by the way, she sells hats. So like it's like okay.
It is funny that we were like people who ran small businesses during COVID who were against shutting down small businesses. We turned them into fucking pariahs.
They made this. They made this woman. And look, I actually met her. She's a tall cup of coffee. She's got a lot of energy. She's got a lot of thoughts. But I enjoy that. I enjoy that in people. And she was very sweet to me. She got me in a Kruber hat. The people that worked there were very sweet. Everyone that worked there was nice, and they have great fucking hats. So I got to swing by her stuff. So I just want to see how she's doing.
This is weird. Like, remember, first off, everybody all the ladies of The View, everyone on CNN, MSNBC, and whatever news outlet you're on, please fucking go back and look at footage of your ill-informed fat ass spewing out this insanity from a year and a half ago. So the next time something comes down the pike, I can tell you to shut the fuck up. Ladies from The View, why don't you watch some footage of you guys attacking the woman who had she was a hairdresser, and she was like, we moved everything wide, and we put the plexiglass up, but I'm staying open, and all the cunts from The View just fucking pig piled right on top of her. Another lady, small business owner, who's trying to fucking keep bread on the table, and you fucking cunts on Mount Pius had to fucking watch the tape. You tell me.
Yeah.
And then
Is
shut
there a
the
bit to
fuck
this?
up. No. Fucking pissed at those cunts and everyone else. You guys watch tape of you being wrong from a year and a half ago. For the next one.
Yeah, it's the entire way that I mean, what I always found comical is like when people lit up like Magic Johnson for taking off his mask and taking a picture, and then him going, "But I held my breath," and then everyone was like, "And you think that works?" I was like, "Wait, I hold my breath." Like, what? Didn't we all do that? Wasn't that the gig?
That
like,
was Garcetti.
Yeah. Oh, was it Garcetti?
Yeah, he took the picture with it. No, those guys got lit up because they were telling everyone to do everything and not doing it themselves.
The hypocrisy is what bothered me. I don't like lines, right? I don't like a line gives me anxiety. I can't do lines. If there's a line to get into a restaurant, I will actually walk away.
Oh, tell that to Jordan Rubin's fucking bedspread.
I like those lines are fine.
Tell that to the memory foam in his mattress.
I don't like key bumps. Now, I like lines only. But I'll tell my wife, if you want to eat there, that's fine, but you got to wait in line because I'd rather go somewhere else. I'd rather go somewhere there was not a line. That energy of a line.
I'm with you. I look, whatever the big tentpole summer movie that comes out, I'll give it a week and a half, and then I go. I don't wait in line either.
And so that energy, it leads itself also into hypocrisy. Is I don't like. I want to represent. I try my hardest to represent who I am all the time, as accurate as I can. I know. Look, I talk shit and I drink a lot, so I don't know if I do it accurately. But I follow the rules. When they said everyone stays in their house, everyone stays in their house. And then when I see people breaking the rules that say I stay in my house, that sends me through the fucking roof. And I go, well, look, if there are no rules, then say there's no fucking rules. Right. I'm cool with there being no rules. Tell me there's no rules, I'm cool with no rules. But if you're going to tell me there's rules, but then you're going to break them, I go through the fucking roof. I'm like, it's the one thing that makes me crazy. Our fucking the vaccine thing. The vaccine thing made me crazy because I'm listening to people talk shit about my buddy, who's obviously not the biggest pro-vax guy in the world, Rogan. Mm-hmm. And then they're applauding anti-vaccine moms in our community, in our neighborhood. And they go, well, yeah, but her kids aren't vaccinated at all, so she's afraid about autism. So it's okay for her to do it. And then I'm like, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, anti-vaxxers took a real turn, right, from like Santa Monica moms to like the right wingers.
I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck?
Which is it? Pick a lane.
Just pick a lane. That's all. Is really. I'm bad. Like I said, I'm bad at these because you can convince me otherwise. The other direction.
If you're gonna get into racing, don't pick a lane. You want to be all over the place.
It's all about lines and losing weight. I gotta start snorting more cocaine and find the right lines.
Yeah. Yeah, for a guy who's almost every story starts with, I was out jogging, you are carrying some extra weight on you. So anyway, I'm eating a salad.
I'm running a dead sprint.
I'm on the Peloton.
I like jogging. I jogged 5 miles today. I was at my cardiologist, and she said, really? I said, yeah. She said, we weren't going to give you a stress test because we were concerned, but you went fucking jogging? And I was like, should I not be jogging? And she goes, well, you gave yourself a stress test. I guess you're fine.
Yeah, no, you should be jogging.
I had a dentist ask me if I dipped once, and I was like, no, but I really wish I did at this
horrifying.
juncture. Yeah.
Oh, I fuck dentists.
Yeah. Wait.
It's such a racket.
I had a story from my own family. Just remind me, you were talking to your wife about a DNR, like a do not resuscitate.
Yeah.
Tell me if this is the saddest tableau you've ever seen about a family. If this story doesn't make you think there's a family that loves each other less than my biological immediate family.
Yeah.
All right. My mom, who's getting way up there, she's like, I don't know, 88, 89. And she's having some health issues. It was about a year and a half ago. And she gave me this whole speech about not wanting the DNR. She does not want to be resuscitated. So I was like, done and done. The Volvo wagon's going to be on eBay that afternoon. You know? She's like, just don't. And by the way, be careful. Because it's not enough just to have it filed in the nursing station.
Oh, no, it is not.
You must put it on the door of the room you're in so that whoever's rushing in, responding to it, sees it, not goes looking through a file cabinet, but it's there.
Ribs.
And then she tells me this story. Because that's what happened to Grandma. And I said, that's her mom. And I said, well, what happened? I don't know what happened. She was in the hospital, and we were visiting her. And we didn't post it on the door. And we went downstairs for a cup of coffee, and she flatlined, and they didn't see the do not resuscitate, and they rushed in. By the time we got back with the coffee, it was too late.
She was alive.
Oh my God.
She was alive.
If that's not the fucking beginning. Oh my God. My God.
By the way, your phraseology to your mom still being alive is it was too late.
That's fucking great.
I was like, sue the fucking hospital, Mom. What'd you do? Grab the doctor and throw him against the wall?
You son of a bitch.
There's a great visual of them coming back, walking up the hallway with coffee, hearing clear, and they're like, no!
Oh, slow motion, the coffee's dropping from their hands.
I need you to do everything you can to make sure he says come back.
Oh my God, that's fucking insane. That's brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah. So put it on the door. That's all I got to say.
I'm gonna resuscitate the fuck out of her. I'm gonna keep her around.
Your wife?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Against her wishes.
Wow.
Oh, do a lot of things against her.
But wait about if you're making that
You
joke.
think Kill Bill was bad? I'm gonna walk out. The nurse is like, yeah, she's good. She's gonna need to clean up though, real quick.
Or if you're making that Joe Coy type of coin and, one to not whack it in half. I don't know. I'm just something to think about.
Yeah.
So what time's your flight? I know you got to get out of here pretty
what's
soon.
that?
Where are you going? You going out of...
Five.
You're going out of LAX?
Going out of LAX. We're trying to get a helicopter to take us from here to LAX. We thought that would save some time in traffic.
Really?
It does not.
Oh, really?
For $1,200, it does not. It's you got to drive to Burbank, which is 8 minutes away, and then you got to get on the helicopter, which is 15 minutes, a 15-minute flight. But they're like, just so you know, it's going to take like 10 to 15 minutes in time to get you on the helicopter and get everything ready. And I was like, whatever happened to like go, and like holding your head. And,
well, I'll tell you what. I
Vietnam.
think you got a little more time here. So why don't we just take a quick break? We'll come back. We'll do a little more with Bert, and then
one more cocktail, please.
We'll mop up. Yeah. Let me hit X chair here. Many of us spend more time every day in our office chair than our cars or our beds. That's why it's so important to invest in a chair with the right level of support and comfort to get the most productivity out of your day. X chair is made, first off, I had X chair way before they became a sponsor. I had them years ago, and it's honestly... I'm sitting in one right now, so I like it. The patented dynamic variable lumbar, or DVL, offers the ultimate customized support. X-Chair can even massage or heat up or cool you down. And now, thanks to X-Chair's new FS360 armrest, you can even adjust your armrest to the perfect position. It's X-Chair, right, Dawson?
Go to xchairadam.com now. That's a letter X, chair80am.com, or call 1-844-4XChair for $100 off your order. X-Chair has a 30-day guarantee of complete comfort, and you can finance your purchase for as little as $30 a month. xchairadam.com.
Bert's going to hang out. We'll do one more quick break with him. We'll be right back after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, my last name was fucking made fun of in school. My last name is Grabansky, and people called me Grabaski. So I think I kind of skated by with an all right name.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Bert Kreischer here. Website bertbertbert.com is where you can go. And also Two Bears, One Cave, of course, with Tom Segura. So you brought up briefly The Machine, the movie, based on the big breakout comedy bit that you had about you and Florida and traveling to Russia. And it's a really funny, brilliant story. You guys can see it in your special. You can see it online.
Yeah.
But now it's a film.
Yep.
How'd that work?
I walked into Legendary. By the way, you would fucking love the people at Legendary. They're so your people. Like you and Cale Boyder would fucking get along amazing.
He's a legendary guy.
He's yeah. So I go into him and he just says we're doing a pitch and I have 3 ideas, and he's just like I pitch him and he goes, all right, I like them. All right, you get to make one movie in Hollywood. What is it? And I said, well, I mean, if I get to make one movie, it's going to be The Machine. And he goes, great. Then what is it? And I said, I don't want to do it. And he said, why? And I said, because I'm afraid I'd do it, and then it would get big, and the Russian mafia would see it, and then they'd kidnap me. And he went, sold. Sold. It's fucking sold. And I went, what? He goes, we're doing a movie. We're doing a goddamn movie. And sure enough, we get the script, we get a director, and we're in Serbia for 3 months. We're doing a movie about me getting kidnapped by the Russian mafia with my dad, and my dad's played by Mark Hamill.
Oh my God!
And it was the funnest experience. This guy Cale, I love him more than anything, but like it was the funnest experience. When I got there, I was like, all right, I'm not going to drink at all during the movie. I want to look good. I want to look like I was going to get my teeth all done. And he just goes, no, we didn't hire a movie star. We hired a fat fuck. God damn it, no. And he goes, you fucking, the first night he goes, you're coming out with me. We're drinking rosé all night. This is who you are. And so we went out and drank, and he said to me very wisely, you can't predict whether a movie is going to do well or not. You can't fix if it's going to do well or not. What you can predict is whether or not you have the best time of your life making that movie. Mm-hmm. And if you do, that can show up on screen. And so I made a decision to really just have a fucking blast. Money was no object. I was making some money, but I just thought, none of that. It's all. I would have sommeliers come to the house. I'd have the whole cast come to the house. I had a 3-story house in Serbia next to like the prime minister. I had parties all the time I had karaoke machines delivered. I'd invite everyone from the crew and the cast. Mark Hamill would come. His daughter would come. His wife would come. And their dogs would come. And it was like the funnest experience I've ever had in my life. I never thought I ever wanted to do a movie ever. It's not who I am. I mean, you guys kind of know who I am as like podcaster, comedian. That's my safe zone. I signed up to do 3 more movies immediately.
Oh,
I was like, this is the funnest thing. And so yeah, so Segura and I are doing a movie, and then my wife and I are doing a movie, and then we're doing another one.
Who wrote the script?
Scott, motherfucker.
Wow,
Scott.
He must have been
Quite a
Scott.
name.
No, but he wasn't.
Made fun of in high school.
We just got. His name's escaping me right now, but I never really met him because it was during the pandemic, and he was in Florida. He was doing barbecue, and so we just text. Peter Atencio is our director, and he kind of worked closely with him. And then when we got there, if there was something we didn't like, we just fucking rewrite it.
Did you tell him Scotty Landis?
Scotty Landis.
I'm reading the screen
Yeah.
here. And Kevin Beagle. I think it's
Scotty Landis started it. Kevin Beagle is the one I texted the most with.
So do you tell them like, okay, watch the bit, you got to watch the comedy bit.
Yeah.
And then here's who I was growing up, or here's where I grew up. I mean, you must have to download information to them.
I told them stories that I weren't in the story. Like
in the special.
In the special, I told them like little things, like how I felt in certain moments. Most importantly, we talked about my relationship with my dad, because that's like the one place I wanted to explore is this. It's a buddy comedy. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to explain the movie, but it's like a buddy action comedy, like Romancing in the Stone type thing. It's
sweet.
It's a lot. It's a lot of like Midnight Run. Mm-hmm. So it's 2 dudes involved in something over their head, and I think mostly they wanted to focus on how I behave around my dad, how I'm a fuck up. And what's funny is like the funniest parts of the movie is just when I fuck up. When I fuck up really good. Like I don't even have to act. When I fuck up, and it just is comedy. So tested through the roof. We took it to. I'm sure these are things you're not supposed to say, but like we took it to Texas and tested it, and it tested through the fucking roof. And then they were like, "Hey, what other movies you want to do?"
When might it come out?
I think they were just going to wait until Russia gets out of the news a little bit. I don't know. I have no idea. I hope it goes. I think the idea was let the Russia. By the way, once again, people at Legendary are losing their mind. They're like, this is not what we say out loud. But you let the Russia-Ukraine stuff die down. The mask stuff starts opening it up. We go into theaters, and I think I would rather it be in theaters. I'm very cool with it going to Netflix. I've had a great relationship with Netflix. Any of the streamers, I've had a great relationship with all of them. But I really want to see. I saw it in the big screen for me. I want it to go open wide and see what happens. Roll the dice. If it sucks, I'll let it suck. But if it's fucking good, I want that money too.
Well, you've seen it.
Yeah.
And yeah. You can watch a movie with you in it. It's possible.
No. So we did the first screening. This is the very first screening. This is like the 2.5 hour, 3 hour version. First screening.
Yeah, like a roughish cut.
Very
rougher cut.
And we went to the next screening. They asked me first not to come. And I said, why? And they're like, you affect the way everyone else sees the movie. And I said, how so? And they're like, well, you were crying the entire movie, and I was reciting the lines. I was like Robert De Niro, but like not I was sobbing. The second the movie opens, I start bawling, and then I cried through the entire movie. My wife was like, you're making it uncomfortable. I brought wine. I was hitting a vape pen. And this is in like the screening room. And so then they're like, and the next time they're like, well, we'd like you to come, but can you sit in the back? And then even still in the back, they're like, you're really distracting because I'm laughing hard as fuck. I'm like, ah! I'm laughing at parts that I'm not in. Whereas a producer, I was like, hey man, if you did this, I think it would really work. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I'm the worst person to watch my movies with. I love me.
But can you, yeah, right. I mean, that's good. But can you objectively sort of step outside of you and go, you've seen a million comedies, a million buddy films, you've seen millions of films and go, this compares favorably.
I'll say this. People will say this is the best movie Mark Hamill's ever been in.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
That's big.
I think people are going to say...
He was in Corvette Summer.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
I think people are going to be like, it's definitely better than Empire Strikes Back.
Shit.
It's definitely better than Return of the Jedi.
It's really saying something.
And I think it's hand in hand with Star Wars.
Oh my God.
Mark Hamill, I was exhausting that poor motherfucker.
Yeah.
He just was like, I remember the first night, because I'm a little bit, Mark's the sweetest guy in the world. He's not like a ball buster. And so like the first night we get there, my co-lead, this Ukrainian, or not Ukrainian, definitely shouldn't say that. It's not from Ukraine. God forbid I say that now. She's an Eastern European woman, is like the co-lead in the movie. And she goes, hey, whatever you do, don't bring up Star Wars. And I went, well, we're having dinner with Mark tonight. Like it's gonna be hard. Like it's like a big deal with him. She goes, I know, I haven't seen it though.
Oh my God.
I said, you haven't seen fucking Star Wars?
Any Star Wars?
She goes, no, I haven't seen it. It just wasn't big in Eastern Europe. And I was like, are you fucking sure? And she goes, I don't know the fucking movie, so don't bring it up. I said, all right. So we sit down, Mark sits down, we have our first drink. I said, Mark, Eva's a huge fan of Star Wars. And you see her eyes go big like, oh. And Mark goes, oh, really? What did you like? What did you like about Star Wars? And she goes, I don't know. Typical good guy versus bad guy storyline always gets me. And I go, who's your favorite character, Eva? And she goes, Chewbacca. I said, can you do an impression of Chewbacca? And she goes, oh, of course. Hello, I am Chewbacca. It's good to meet you.
Oh, that's a great story.
But Mark was he's a good sport. It was a fucking blast. I told him I signed up for 7 more. I'll just do these movies. The Machine, like Fletch. I'll just do the Machine. And I already know the next one we go to Mexico. I get involved with the Mexican mafia, and the Russian mafia has to get me out of the Mexican mafia. Like I'll do. I told him I'll do 7. I had so much fun doing it, and I'm really good at playing me. I'm not good at playing guys that aren't me.
The role you were born to play.
Right.
Me? I can do Bert. I know Bert a lot.
Better than anybody.
Yeah, I've fucked up so many auditions trying to play other things. Like, they're like, why is your character crying? And I was like, is that not part of it? And they're like, you work at a bait shop.
All right, well, I know Bert's got to make a flight, so we'll cut this segment a little bit shorter than we normally do. I'll hit a quick spot here. LifeLock tax season is always crazy, but it's going to feel even more stressful if you fall victim to scammers pretending to be the IRS, asking for personal information, bank accounts, or for you to wire them money. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives every day. We put our info at risk when we get on the internet. In an instant, cyber criminals could harm your finances and credit. Good thing there's LifeLock. LifeLock helps detect a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. You'll have access to a dedicated restoration specialist if you become a victim. It's LifeLock, right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can keep what's yours with LifeLock by Norton. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year with promo code ADAM. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head to lifelock.com. Use promo code ADAM for 25% off.
Hello, I am Chewbacca.
Real quick, I need to explain this to Bert, who's pointing at it.
What is that?
Oh, it's...
Ovulation thing?
I wish.
It's...
way worse.
Oh, God, what is it?
A biorhythm wheel from his
wheel.
mother.
My mom had
This
one
is
of
how
those.
she would decide what to do that day.
She was
real.
probably having an extra critical day when Grandma was
Do
resuscitated.
not give me one of those. I could fucking lean on that pretty hard.
Yeah, don't
no.
do it.
Yeah.
Don't get on the treadmill today. It's heart attack day.
That's right.
Biorhythm says no.
That's right.
Yeah, no, you can find a reason with this wheel not to do anything at any time. This is, I think,
Which is why she had it.
Oh my God.
The tour, the Birdie Boy Relapse Tour, and he's coming to a town near you. BertBertBert.com is where you go for dates. The podcast, 2 Bears, 1 Cave. Bert Kreischer, such a fun time.
I had such a blast. Thank you guys for having me in.
Let's go racing, man.
From your mouth to God's ears. I'm making it happen.
All right.
I am a facilitator, if nothing else.
You are the best. So we'll take a quick break.
Hello, I am Chewbacca.
We'll be back with the news right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden, Kamala. Meet news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
So we know that Governor DeSantis versus Disney is like a thing right now, and you know they're not super happy with each other. But I thought we'd get into a little bit of what exactly that could mean for Disney World, because they have a lot of perks, let's say, in Florida that might get taken away. So NPR reports that lawmakers will consider a bill that would end all independent special districts in the state, and that was formed in 1967. So basically, that 40 miles of Disneyland or Disney World is like its own entity. It's like its own city and doesn't get regulated. As it stands now, Disney has near total control of around 40 square miles of the theme park. It's exempt from all state regulations except for a little property tax, some elevator inspections, and that's about it. And of course, tensions now really brewing recently with Bob Chapek, who's the Disney CEO, saying he'd support the repeal of Florida's Parental Rights and Education Act. You know, everyone calls it Don't Say Gay. And DeSantis wasn't super happy with like the mask mandates and stuff at Disney World. So they're going head to head. But things weren't always that way. In fact, Politico reports that Disney donated $50,000 directly to DeSantis during the 2020 election cycle. Last year, the governor's staff worked with Disney to give it an exemption from a law designed to crack down on big tech companies.
The political donations, especially the light ones, all potential risk with no upside.
Right.
Now, maybe not $50,000, but I'm saying they do this thing where they find out somebody did something, you know, he's a convicted pedophile, and he gave $700 to Hillary Clinton, and it's like, well, what was he going to get out of the $700? And now she's like, they do this all the time, like donated to this person
They're
I don't like, but the donation sometimes for $90.
Yeah, and 50 G's for Disney, it seems light to me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a cap. I don't know.
Oh, perhaps there is. So everything was all hunky-dory up until now. I mean, last year they were great bedfellows 2020, everything was great. And now literally this ruling that's been in place since 1967, and it wouldn't just affect Disney. There's a lot of theme parks in Florida.
It is weird that we had a Disney in Florida and a Disney in California, and we just chose to treat COVID like they were in two different universes with two different diseases. Yeah. And we never really looked at it. It's pretty much apples to apples. It's not like, well, they got Disney over there in Florida, and then we got Knott's Berry Farm, and that's got Spillikin Corners. It's a little bit different. It could be a super spreader event. It's like, nah, we basically got the same place there and the same place here. And once Disney there was open for 6 months, why didn't we go
we tried. They begged. Remember?
You're right.
They said, "Come, we'll show you how we're keeping everything open and keeping everything safe."
And Gavin Newsom was like, no fun.
Yeah.
Like
they begged to go and help them get things going.
It's so fucking bizarre.
And they dragged their heels out here too with the rules. They just big news in the Bishop household. They just are allowing character hugs again. It's called Hugs Are Back.
Right.
Tessa is psyched. She wants to hug Belle. She wants to hug all the creatures she didn't get to hug for 2 years.
Well, I have some other real big problems with Disney, and Brian, we'll have to talk about this at some point, because part of the pandemic, what they instituted is you have to reserve your day at the park. So just because you have a ticket, there's no more like, my friends and I used to go on Craigslist and buy people's tickets and just go to the park that day. And it was like so fun. Now you have to reserve it months in advance.
It's a needlessly elaborate procedure.
And not only that, and maybe just the fucking Disney, California Adventure has space open that day and not the Magic Kingdom. But from what I understand, the crowds are packed to the gills. You'd think that if they were reserving a certain amount of space, it's like, oh, got a little elbow room today. Nope. It is the worst of both worlds, from what I understand.
Just there a couple
That's
weeks
why
ago.
we're not going.
Spring break, so it was fucking nuts.
And you have to have a reservation. That doesn't help in any way. So I have my own problems with Disney. This story came out of a very personal place because it happened at our good buddy Teresa's son's school. She's very familiar with the event. She's hosted it many times. And I'm glad she put this on my radar because now it's everywhere. It was on New York Post. An instructor at ASU and a librarian who are part of the Scottsdale Unified's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission have falsely accused a black DJ of wearing blackface at a charity event in Scottsdale.
I didn't see it.
I'm going to show you the picture. I'm going to show you the video. I think you could pick out the one that they're accusing. And so it's a disco theme. It's a charity event. They raised like $300,000. Everyone's in like afros and mustaches and leisure suits. And the guy the seemingly black man was accused by a black man.
The blackest man.
Was accused by a black man and a white woman of wearing blackface.
You better be real sure about that.
Well, let me take you through the story.
They're accusing a white man of wearing blackface?
Correct.
Right, but he's an actual black man.
Correct. Stuart Roden and Jill Lassen attacked the Scottsdale Unified District's Hopi Elementary PTA for hiring this guy, Coco Kim Hunter, to host their charity auction. These two were informed after their attack that he is, in fact, a black man. He was not wearing blackface. But that didn't stop the accusations.
I do love our new world order, and I always think back on that mayor of Oakland who found the hoops hanging from the trees. Like, could they be a news?
Whether it's real or not.
Everything that's in a circle, it doesn't make it a noose, but everything is a noose, and there's nooses and they're hanging in the tree. And when the black guy who hung them in the tree at the park so he could work out announced, I did that, that didn't slow the roll.
There was still an open investigation.
We're still moving forward with this investigation.
So let me tell you what they said. Well, they went two different ways, it sounds like. Jill Lassen basically fell on her sword and begged for their forgiveness and was like, oh my God, this is so humiliating. Stuart Roden, who is himself a black man, doubled down by accusing the man of wearing makeup to appear blacker, and that's its own problem.
Bold gambit.
Yeah. Roden and Lassen have since both apologized, but an activist for the school responded this way, and I want to read her statement. She said, the SPC, that's the Unified School District, whatever, I'm sorry, that's the Diversity Equity Commission, is so intent on finding racism that they'll go as far as to accuse a member of one of the communities they claim to advocate for of reprehensible behavior. And added, SBC invoices every Scottsdale Unified School District, PTA, PTO, all these things for dues each year, and then uses those funds to attack community members. Now, I want to show you a picture of Coco sort of out of his disco garb.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, this is a video. So you can just see the man that they accused of not being black, and go ahead and play that.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that wished this old dog here a happy birthday, whether you
on his Instagram
sent in one of those embarrassing pictures from way back in the day, or you sent a video of me doing something stupid. I think every video is of me doing something stupid, or just gave me a thumbs up. Hey, I just want to say I appreciate you and I love you. Thank you very much. Peace out.
Yes, hello. My name is Graham Wellington.
That's the greatest PSA ever
This
created.
is an Instagram that's easily findable.
Well, imagine if we were just looking for anything. I mean, we're searching for racism now, but just imagine, we're just fire inspectors just looking for fire hazards, Like at some point you'd go, who left their sweat jacket on the back of this chair? And you'd be like, I don't know, my son took it off. Well, that's pretty close to the kitchen, and that has a live burner over there. And it's like, we'll write you up. Like, you want to go look for it. You can find it and then get to the point where actually manufacturing it. We're now getting into the manufacturing process when it comes to racism, which would suggest to me that we're getting to the end of the kind of, we're becoming the kind of society that we'd all hoped we'd live in a colorblind society, although we're no longer colorblind anymore because everyone is just looking for it all the time.
Well, remember wasn't it a weatherman, or it was definitely a news anchor of some sort that got fired because, right? He wore an afro first because it was in the 70s, 70 degrees.
I've told everyone there's plenty of pictures of my dad with a huge afro. The guy, white guy.
Epstein had a pretty sweet afro.
Yeah. The guy from Boston, the band, had a big afro. Like, it was
easily done.
It's a 70s thing.
Yeah, which was the point he was making.
And then isn't it a little bit racist to think everything is race-based?
Well, and that's what they also, it was a long article, but they were saying, like, you're the racist. You're assuming because this guy wore a wig and his skin is darker than yours, he's what now?
Yes. All right. What good could come of it is my question. This thing where we've all become McGruff, the crime dog, trying to sniff out racism everywhere and just find it. I mean, Bubba Wallace's pull on his NASCAR garage. There's a noose. Someone put it there to send a message. Like, it just also, once it gets out into the zeitgeist, it just kind of is, and then no one really walks the part back. I mean, and we're also entering this world. I don't know if we ever played this clip, Chris, but I was watching the Bubba Wallace black NASCAR driver. Well, we're talking about first things first. His dad is the whitest person on the planet. We've shown pictures of him. And they're like interviewing the sister, like when the whole thing went down. The noose, found a noose. They sent 16 FBI guys there to get to the bottom of it. And it turned out the noose had been tied the year before. And before the garage was randomly given to his race team. And so everyone was very upset. And then they did the investigation. And then they had Bubba's sister, I believe it was, sitting there. And she's like, well, the FBI didn't find anything. She's like, I know in my heart what this was. And it's like, okay, now we're in La La Land. Everybody
you can't argue
gets to just know what they know, even though it's been disproven. And, the mayor of Oakland is still going to go out on a hunt to find out about this hoop case in a tree.
That's been solved.
It's been solved. You're not allowed to run a society this way where stuff has been disproven and then somewhere in the bowels of your heart that it happened.
And meanwhile, to follow up with the literature that was all over my neighborhood over Easter weekend about Jews and COVID and the media, I don't know if this is related, a guy, I'm assuming possibly. Well, I know there's no mentally ill homeless people in LA, but there might be one in the neighborhood because he was screaming about President Hitler. And then somebody else on the Nextdoor app said, don't bother calling the police about the pamphlets and stuff because we did. And they said it's a free speech issue and there's nothing they can do about it.
The Jews, it's this also this.
Excuse me, can I have some money? I'm very gay.
in this pantheon of hate crimes, the Jews have been taking some body blows over the last few years.
Literally.
And now we're in this. Now we have to figure out what to do. Like, how do we thread this needle? We've decided that all things related to race are black. We've decided that this is really the angle that needs to be taken for all things race. Then we have black guys punching random Jewish people in the streets. Ooh, what do we do with this? Because it's like a Jew has just been assaulted, but it was a black teenager that punched a Jew. But we're all in on black race. We're not really opening it up to Asians, for instance. We're holding them back from getting into Harvard. So can't really talk about the Jews too much here. I mean, maybe a white supremacist will do something to a Jew, and then we can open that conversation back up.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Bubba's sister's ready?
Yeah, so you probably won't be able to hear it, but the question she's asked is, what was your reaction to those findings? And that was that the news was a garage
FBI.
poll.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to those findings?
It's bullshit. We're never going to find out who did it. But I wasn't ready for the conspiracy theories of him doing it himself. That was pretty hurtful.
All right. Okay. Well, you can find out. I mean, Buddy Baker's team did it the year before. She's just bullshit, man. She's not buying it.
But you're right. It was whoever had the stall.
Somebody in some previous years did it.
Well, and didn't we talk about right when this happened, when you said, well, you could call it a noose, but it's also a pole so you can get the garage door down.
I think this was a noose. I think this was a noose, but if anyone's been around any creative people, sometimes they do things on poles and stuff like that. Like, guys I work construction with, like, had a rope or something like that, and they would fuck around and do that. Not as send a message to the black community or anything. It's just they were Boy Scouts or something. Yeah. Yes.
So I know you are too. I'm really enjoying Winning Time, but not everyone is. There's been a little bit of debate and even some possible legal action. Variety reports that LA Lakers legend and NBA icon Jerry West has declared the portrayal of himself in the series as a deliberately false characterization and a baseless portrayal.
The little I've watched, he looks like a buffoon.
He's hot-headed. Let's say that.
He's an alcoholic, sexually addicted, and he's a buffoon too.
That's how it came off to me.
Have you watched the latest one?
No, it came out Sunday?
Yeah, it always is on Sunday night.
No, I know, but it was Easter.
Oh, yeah, we watched it.
And I looked for it, and I didn't see it.
Well, I think they're starting to give... I don't know. I get it.
He's becoming my favorite character on that show.
Me too.
Yeah.
He's just really passionate.
Exactly. In a letter that he sent to Adam McKay, who's the executive producer, as well as HBO and parent company Warner Brothers, West's attorney stated that the series has caused great distress to him and his family. He demands a legal retraction from HBO within 2 weeks. Jerry West is played by Jason Clarke in the series, and he portrays a very fiery, sort of agitated guy. Part of the letter reads, "You took a happy and super successful Lakers era and turned it into a pulpy soap opera. You depicted the people in a false light, not at all who they are, to garner ratings and make money." And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote, saying, instead of exploring his issues with compassion as a way to better understand the man, they turn him into Wile E. Coyote, a character to be laughed at.
He's talking about Jerry West.
Yes.
Okay.
About Jerry West. And Jerry's attorneys are demanding a public apology or at least some sort of a retraction.
Well, I don't know what the rules are, and I was watching it, and I've been a Lakers fan, and I didn't know Jerry West too well, other than he was just Jerry West,
the logo,
and
That's
he's
right.
the logo for the NBA, and I was pretty shocked at how they were portraying him, and so
Throwing stuff through windows.
he's really out of control and a buffoon as well. But so then the question is they usually or oftentimes they change the name of the person. It's like when they have a
hard
song.
to do here.
They have anytime you do. Yeah, maybe not in this movie or this
No,
series.
they do obviously. So it
Right.
would be
They
difficult.
songs or they do feel-alikes.
Right.
It sound like how many times there's been some sort of sound-alike of the Rocky theme song for
Sure.
a boxing scene.
They just
or something.
invert it.
Yeah, they
Gonna
shuffle
fly
it.
now.
Yeah, they shuffle it around a
Yeah.
little bit to avoid litigation.
Right.
And so this is tough because it's Jerry West, but they're saying his name over and over again,
Yeah.
and they're having him act in these extreme, bizarre, and wildly unflattering. He picks up a chick at a bar and bangs her on her prom night or something, or I don't know. The point is this.
Wow.
I would be pissed if I were him,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the legalities are.
Is
Yeah.
it based on a book or some kind of previous material? Because maybe the lawyers for the publisher took care of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I do not know.
Yeah. I'm not seeing.
I'm
it
now
based
pissed
on
because I looked for it Sunday night and it showed me a one that already. So here's how my brain works. I go, ooh, Sunday night. And then I go and hit it. And
It's the
first
old
thing
one.
that comes up is one I've seen before. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Easter. I guess they ran a rerun.
No,
No?
it was up there, and that's why I even asked, like, was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar really like this? And Jerry Buss, like a total coos hound, and like,
That'll
That's
lie.
true. That's
okay,
true.
yeah, I don't know, but people like me who don't have anything else to go on, John Sally told us, like, some of it feels accurate, some of it does not, and he would know.
Are there booze hounds and coos hounds?
I think it could be both. Yeah, on a booze cruise,
You could be a
you
coos.
hound.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use
something to
that.
think about.
Can
Please
I
do.
use that?
Yeah, you can use it.
If you make beer koozies, call yourself the Booze Coos Hounds.
That's right.
That's good. I know. I'm pretty sure Brian knows who this is. Do you know who Ezra Miller is, Adam? Show him a picture. His face is very.
He's the Flash.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he's
he's
been
the
in a bunch of
Flash.
stuff. He is spiraling out right now. He's been arrested in Hawaii again. I didn't mention it the first 2 times, but third time's a charm, so let's talk about it. He's from the Fantastic Beasts. He's the Flash. He was charged with disorderly conduct and harassment after he allegedly threw a chair at a woman. So this incident, according to Variety, went down at a private private residence early Tuesday morning. Police officers said Miller became irate after being asked to leave. Then he threw a chair at this 26-year-old girl.
Again? That's his move?
It hit her in the forehead, half-inch cut. The woman refused treatment for the injury. Miller was arrested on March 28th for yelling obscenities while other patrons were trying to sing karaoke at a bar. And then a couple in Hawaii
I heard about that.
filed a restraining order against him the day after his first arrest, claiming he burst into their bedroom and started threatening them. I saw, and I know Brian did too, we have to talk about Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
This is starting to make
that's
me
him.
really nervous. Yeah. Have you
that-
seen that
that's-
movie?
That's a great movie that no one knows.
Oof.
No,
it's
I'm
scary.
nobody.
It's intense.
This feels like all booze or drugs or something, right?
Some sort of break, psychotic. I don't know.
It is kind of it's an interesting wiring. Some people get really fucked up or they have issues and they want to get in a bathrobe and masturbate in a room with tinfoil on the windows and no
Sure.
lights,
Sure.
Then other people want to take it to the streets. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to crawl into my neighbor's house.
Yeah.
It's like there's a mobile crazy and a sedentary crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a mobile fucked up and a sedentary
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm a little more sedentary fucked up.
That's who I think generally we prefer.
Plan is if you're going to drink a lot, just hang out at home or
Right.
watch a little TV or
I don't know
something.
about that.
Let's drink some beers and rape. Wow. Those were my olden days. But other people like Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah.
they like to get fucked up and crawl into other people's houses and
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, would you consider, this is a Dr. Drew question, I guess, but like, is that some sort of a psychosis or it's just your personality?
It sounds like and by the way, it can always be both.
Right.
I mean, think about all the people in the streets of LA that have a psychosis
Right.
and addicted to something.
Self-medicating. We've been watching Intervention again. I don't know why.
No.
It's been a lot of God, how does my husband deal with me? We'll fall asleep watching Dateline and then Intervention, and I go sound asleep.
What a fun household.
It kind of, I don't know what it is. I think it's just too normal during the day. But every episode of Intervention ends with, the card saying she was since diagnosed with bipolar.
Right.
So it's a lot of self-medicating, but I don't know what's up with Ezra Miller, except we have to talk about Kevin.
All right, let's bring it home. I got to pack my race bag.
Oh, boy.
And, hit the road,
All
man.
right, let's get out of here. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Comedians in cars getting pussy.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Last but not least, there's Geico. Would you love to save some money on your insurance? Of course you would. Who doesn't love a deal? When it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Insure your car, your truck, motorcycle, boat, RV, even homeowners and condos, renters insurance coverage as well. Save even more with a special discount when you bundle. That's right. Plus, add the easy-to-use Geico mobile app and 24/7 roadside assistance. And the switch to Geico, well, that becomes a no-brainer. Let's go to geico.com and see how much you could save. Henry Winkler one-on-one tomorrow, so be ready for that. It was a very interesting interview. Bert Kreischer, everyone, the website bertbertbert.com is where you can go for all the dates and tour tickets and stops and Two Bears, One Cave, of course. Him and Tom Segura and me, Indianapolis, Helium. That'll be May 6th and 7th, and then we're going to Sea Legs, Huntington Beach. I'm laughing because Mike says to me, he goes, on the Huntington show, you'll be done at Mar by 5:30, and Huntington Beach only an hour and a half away. Show starts at 7:30, so we'll have a ton of time.
Oh my God, it's rush hour.
That doesn't make all the sense.
We'll have a ton. The most we would have is a half hour. That would be if you drove onto the sound stage of Bill Maher's show, but after we say bye and you get to the car, we'll have a ton of time here now.
You know what? You might want to look into that helicopter.
That's right. So, till next time, Adam Kroll for Bert Kreischer and Gina Grad and Paul Bryan saying mahalo.
I'm not a pushover either.
Well, what I did is I just walked up to the kid while he was standing on the sofa, and I said, hey, look, I don't know. I don't want any problem. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Art Fuss. Fucking right in his Adam's apple.
Dad, you have to stop punching my friends at the Adam's apple.
That's a lesson you don't learn twice.